ShakeSphere Portable Blender E-Lid Review. This sleek and stylish blender will appeal to those people who appreciate simple, fuss-free design. But with its jet-propelled shape and fun color-changing lights on its legs, this ShakeSphere blender still offers a playful edge. The design is clearly aimed at the sportsman's target audience, not the general consumer. And it comes in either a muted black or bright yellow finish. It'll fit into any backpack or gym locker easily enough. And because it will weigh less than half of most blenders, you won't feel weighed down by it either. While the clear Trident blender comes with a 24.6 fluid ounces capacity, none of the other tumbler sizes is compatible with this blender, meaning you're limited to this size of beverage. When the unit isn't in use, a blade guard screws onto the top of the container for safety. The container has separate leak-proof lids, with a steel slide cover that secures the spigot. A finger loop helps carry when the container is screwed to the blade guard. The lights illuminate blue if it's properly sealed and ready to go, otherwise red indicates an incorrect seal. When you turn the blender upside down, a power switch appears on the bottom of the lid. You must press it for 3 seconds to start the blender. It blends for a set period of time before shutting off automatically. You'll need to provide your own wall outlet or connect it to another power source if you want to charge it. For our first attempt at making a shake using ShakeSphere, we made some modifications. After twisting the cap into place, we pushed the start switch for 3 seconds before pressing down on the base of the container to flip it upside down. Once flipped, we waited another 3 seconds for the contents to reach the blades. After the first blender had finished its job, there were still some leftover bits of berries and some residual whey left in the bottom of the container. We started a second round of mixing, which mixed up most of the remaining whey and decreased the number of berry skins. The resulting beverage was fairly well blended. Its texture had an odd consistency because of the bits of fruit that stayed intact and some skin. But the protein shake and the remainder of the fruits were liquefied. The blend wasn't as finely ground as we would hope for a high-powered blender, but the results were good considering that this is a corded blender. And the container held around 3x4 full of hard, frozen fruit which it crushed into submission in just under 80 seconds. We used a Vitamix high-performance blender to test out our new product. It took one blending cycle to fully pulverize all the ingredients into smoothie form. And the blender stayed stable on the counter during the entire blending cycle. Despite its claims to perform 30-second blending sessions, in our tests, each session lasted for approximately 39 seconds but was noticeably quieter than most blenders we tested. It maxed out at 75 decibels, which is comparable to a vacuum cleaner. A major drawback of our test was that, even though the screwdriver was correctly inserted into the hole, the blender would not start up. We had to remove and reattach the screwdriver several times before starting the blender again. And because there was no indication whatsoever that the screwdriver was in place, we had to keep checking whether the screwdriver was properly inserted. It got really annoying after a while. The ShakeSphere Portable Blender's tumblers aren't dishwashing safe, but they clean really well. You can either use them by shaking them, or you can simply pour water into the cup and then put the cap back on. Either way works fine. We tested the blender for 14 blending sessions. During these sessions, we tried starting the blender without recharging it first. After each session, we measured the remaining charge and recorded the results. A full recharging of the battery takes between 4 and 6 hours, which is in the low range of the 4 to 6 hours claim made by the manufacturer. The light stays red throughout the charging period. When the blender is fully charged, the light switches from red to green. but there are no ways to check the battery level during the charging process.